Motorsport as we are here live for this afternoon's racing. I'm your host Mathew Duffin, being joined in the commentary box by Mr. Gray Langley himself. Gray, first of all, how are we? Looking forward to this one. The practice weather we've just seen has been very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. We're doing well today. I love this track. I don't care if I'm commentating on it. I don't care if I'm driving on it. I don't care if I'm dreaming about it. I always have fun when this track is involved. Yeah, the weather, I'm hoping it plays into today. I know you're hoping as well. We all like a good little spicy wet race. So it's not looking like it for this first sprint race, but definitely, I hopefully it comes back in quali or race 2 possibly.
Well, let's just point this out to you. So for the guys who's missed and girls who's missed the opening of this practice session, obviously, that we do off air, it has just been absolutely throwing it down. Raining cats and dogs out there. And then it went to dry, but really overcast, cloudy conditions. So it went to a damp circuit at the very end. Now it's light cloud and sunshine. So tonight, Langley, you can see there, the rain's meant to get in 30 minutes. The race will be done by then. But really tonight, this is anybody's game out there, because we don't know, they're not going to know what is going to happen out there tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And who can keep their head on a swivel? Who has the right tire? If it does rain, who has the right tire strategy? There's a general idea of what to do if it starts to rain while it's dry, or if it's already raining and it's drying up. But it'll cause chaos out on track in terms of your braking points change, your turn-in points change, who's sliding off, who's keeping it under control. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for tonight.
I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a real good night of racing. So we've got, what we'll do is we'll run through, before we get through the grid order, we'll run through the championship standings at the moment. Obviously silver, bronze, and then the overall as well as teams. So it's Benny Volger who leads the way in silver from Wolski by 18 points. Unsworth is in third with Williams P4. Leno's P5 from Millington. Brian Craig, Andrew Taylor, Dronelander, Hunt, Argent, Gabino, Williams, Johnson, Broom, Oldsin, Peckman, Greaves, Flores, Jimenez, Davis, Cummings, Waste, Leach, Lane, DeBlock and Lee. Now I'm not seeing Leach, in fact he's only just got in the lobby, so the race has started. We have to apologise for the quick turnaround as well, by the way. We left it from the 50-minute practice, not in 1 hour due to no qualifying one, so I do apologise. In the bronze category then, it will be Bettison from Best, Malarex, Tucker, Atherton, Privet, Smith, Simcoe, Cherrymore, Andrew, Sturrock, Bell, and then Archer. In the Teams Championship, Team Audio Sport lead the way from Real Time Racing, Team Merlin, Quantum Motorsport P4 with Sodor Racing in P5, Greasy Bandits to 6 from SimPlay Racing and its 4Q Motorsport, Team Aspire, Black and Blue Racing, SC Racing, Balkan Sim or Bearded Racing, Billy Nomix, Roadrunner Motors, SRC, and Team GBR. Overall, it was basically an interesting one, because bronze driver of Bettison is up in P5. That is Varga from Wolski, Unsworth, Leno, Bettison, the bronze leader, and it's Millington, Brian Craig, Andrew Taylor, Williams, Dronelander, Hunt, Argent, Best, Gabino, Williams, Malarex, Johnson, Broom, Oldsin, it's Tucker, Peckman, Atherton, Privet, Smith, Greaves, Simcoe, Flores, Cherrymore, Andrews, Bell, Lane, Leach, Cummings, Davis, Waste, Jimenez, Sturrock, Archer, and then Lee down at the bottom. Now for the reverse grid, drivers who are new to the series this week are at the back of that pack. That's not going to matter because Leach and Johnson and then that of Dronelander and Leno have all missed the start of this race. But the reverse grid, first time we get to see the reverse grid with 32 cars out on circuit. This could be a very interesting race as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's our first reverse grid of the season. I think some cars are out of place. I think some cars are right where they need to be. Greaves is heading this field, and he finished P3 in the championship. Not heading, but he's at the front of this field, and he finished P3 in the championship last year. So he's definitely one to keep an eye out on. I think he could be a definite favorite in this first one.
So the grid order then is DeBlock from Lane, with Greaves in P3, then it's Peckman, Broom, Paul Williams, Gabino, Kieran Argent, Hunt, Taylor, Brian Craig, Millington, Williams, Unsworth, Wolski, Vargy, your current championship leader, then Lee will start 17th. He's obviously the driver who is new entered into the Pro-Am for the season. It's Benny Archer. As I've pressed the wrong button there, so we're going to have to wait for this to get underway. It's then Benny Archer, Darren Bell, Sturrock. We can't get that one until I return to pit lane. I've pressed the wrong button there, so apologies, ladies and gentlemen, on that one. But yeah, the driver's getting ready to go here in this race. Who are you going for race 1?
I know I said Greaves, but I don't think we should count out the block earlier. I believe he won a sprint and feature race last year at Spain, so he's very strong. He's very good on his day. So yeah, honestly, either him or Greaves are my choices.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go pretty much the same as you. To be fair, though, I think them two could be the ones to watch in this one. This could be an interesting race, though, because Varga from back on the grid is going to be an interesting one. But we're about to get underway here for the start of round number 3 this season. We're about to be green and go then here at the Nurburgring, and it's De Block who gets a good start from lane. Greaves already coming off over across to cover that of Peckman. A little bit bogged down for Broom. He's got Williams and Gabino going 3 wide. Let's watch as we head in towards turn 1. Is there going to be carnage? Tap from one of the Porsches. That's Wolski backwards, who's about to clatter into a few of the other cars, and boom, they all go round. I think that was Andrew Taylor, maybe even Williams. It was Williams off. And look at the pile up at turn number 1 already. We didn't see it last night, but we've saw it tonight. Apart from that, De Block has got away very, very well from then Catherine Lane, who is up into that second place already in this one, and a fight happening, but with Greaves just behind. He's managing to fend off as there goes Paul Williams around and facing the wrong way. He's going to have to wait for a while to get that one back going. Greaves still third from Peckman. Broom has dropped down the order, so we'll wait to see who's where as they come through the first sector, but carnage at turn 1.
Yeah, Taylor was lucky to escape the carnage. I was spectating him further down the pack as the pile-up ensued, and then I believe he hit Williams around right there, and that's why he went spinning. Chaotic first start. Nürburgring's about as chaotic as Monza is if we're talking turn 1s.
Yeah, it is indeed the 90-degree, pretty much the hairpin back on yourself turn number 1. But we're on board with Peckman, who's currently running P number 5 at the moment. We're going to drop down the order a little bit, so we'll get the final order. So it is De Block from lane from Greaves, Peckman from Gabino, then it is Hunt, Millington's up to 7th from Broom, then Benny Varga, Kieran Argent 10th place, then it's Andrew Taylor, who has a look at the inside, can't do anything there. Great start from Benny Varga, by the way, 22nd, 24th I think he was on the grid. He's already up into 9th place. Championship leader Chargy, Darren Bell, your bronze leader, in 12th place, and it's Benny Archer. Simcoe is in P14, Sturrock P15, then it's Unsworth, Privet, for Bettison, Brian Craig, Mark Tucker. He's got Gary, that's Mark Tucker with Gary Leach side by side with him as they come through the little left-hand kink towards the chicane. Gary gets the move done, so he moves up another place. That's Bettison side by side with Brian Craig in towards turn 1. Gary Leach bails for the pit lane. No pit window, let's not forget. Dronelander has not started this race, and Williams also decides to bring it into the pits. A few of the stragglers in the background may decide to come in as well. We'll wait and see, but Greaves putting pressure on lane 2. Porsches out front at the moment, and Gabino's looking around the outside of Peckman into turn 2, gets that one done. Now Hunt has a look around the outside of Peckman in towards turn 3 now, and can't get it done, but has he opened the door for Millington? No, he has not. Good start from the front runners. Benny Varga in the pits also.
Yeah, I was about to say Benny Varga are already in the pits, lap 1. Honestly, with him up to 8th, we might be able to see him toward the front of this pack by the end of this race. I mean, with his pace last week, I wouldn't be surprised if he finds some clean air out the pit lane and pushes. He could be up here. He could be up here fighting for this race win.
Yeah, he really could indeed. It's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on in this race at the moment then, so we're on board with that of Hunt, who's attacking Peckman, and did Millington just give him a tap there, because he's gone very wide. He has given him a shunt up the rear, it looks like, and that has allowed Argent to get past Millington as well, and Taylor through. Millington's got no damage on the front there, so not sure if Millington did hit him. Unsure on that one there. Greaves trying to chase down that off lane. Broom on the back of Hunt now with Darren Bell, the bronze leader at the moment, on the back of him. Who else have we got down the order having a bit of a scrap? Wolski with big damage. He is on the back of Mark Tucker. We've then got that of Malarex looking around the outside here of of Paul Williams as they come up towards the Schumacher S's, and Malarex gets through. Good move there from him. He's up a position. Dronelander has got out on track. Varga leads Leach, leads Williams, leads Atherton after the first round of pit stops, and already some overtakes happening out there on circuit. But it's Dronelander pulling away with fastest lap in this one. Taylor's on the back of Millington, although Taylor bails to the pit lane.
I think you mean the block on that one, not drone lander pulling away.
Yeah.
All good. Catherine Lane, I believe she's being very consistent so far. P2, P1's not too far away. We'll see if Greaves can have a look on her very shortly, but yeah, good start from her. Very consistent, not getting in any trouble, sitting in P2 right now. I believe it'd be her first podium if it finished like this.
Would be her first podium. Yeah, she was with us a few seasons ago, couldn't finish the season. She's really improved her pace since we last saw her on the SimPlay Motorsport channel. She's going to drop down to Johnson. He's now got ahead of Brian Craig. Craig's got Beto just behind him, and Benny Archer trying to get past that of Lee, but he's now got Lino to deal with, and then Best just behind him. He's got Malarex sliding through the corner. Best got a bit of damage on the front end of that car, but back to Darren Bell. He's on the back of Hunt. Up the order in this race, they've got Broom, Sturrock and Unsworth, who's taken the fastest lap, gaining on them as well. So this could be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. This little battle developing here. 4P7 at the moment could be one to keep watching. Lane's lost 9/10 of a second somewhere because she was under a second gap. But it's not anymore. Unsworth now has passed Broom. So he moves up another position. He's got a bit of damage on the front end of his car. Now the drivers have that 25-second pit stop to make. Interesting to see how many drivers will or will not repair the damage in this one.
Yeah, he's not around any cars right now, but Benny Varga has that clean air, and I am very interested to see where he will come out once this pit stop cycle, because he has all that clean air to push into with everyone else battling out in the pack, and honestly, it might be shifting tides for him to be the favorite in this one.
It might be indeed, as we see in this of Darren Bell looking at the inside of Hunt in towards the final chicane. No can do there. Bell going to bail into the pit lane. So Bell comes into the pit for his stop. This is on board with Sturrock. Now we've got Greaves, who set the fastest lap within half a second now of Lane. At the moment, Argent's gaining on the back of Peckman in this race. We've got Broom, who's also into the pits, and then there is Brian Craig holding up that of Beto and Tucker. Wolski gaining on them. Lino has got past Best. Best still not picked him with that damage. I'm pretty surprised by that. He's got Williams and Simcoe behind him, and Simcoe just a little tap up the rear of Williams. Nothing comes of that one though. And like you say, Benny Varga, 13 seconds of clear air. He could be the man in the prime position in this race. Williams though within 8/10 of Bestie. Then it's Beto who's on the back of Brian Craig further forward. We've then got Unsworth within 9/10 of a second of Sturrock, who is currently now your bronze leader after the pit stops. But Sam Greaves just starting to apply that pressure back to Catherine Lane once again.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like the block's kind of clearing out from this battle in second and third, and the pack is starting to spread, and that is something we mentioned, that with this being an actual track, as we call it, or an actual track to be able to race on, you're going to get a bit more spread, and you're going to get a bit more like isolated battles, where at Alton Park it's almost like always a train. And I think lane's wide, and Greaves is through. Yeah, Greaves is through into P2.
Lane very wide, that's allowed Greaves through. Unsworth has also got himself ahead of Sturrock. Beto trying to get past Brian Craig. Be interesting to see what the Lexus can do tonight, because Beto was dominant in that Lexus for the bronze category last time out. He's got work to do if he wants to take a third win. Good evening to Gary Clarble and Andrew Aberdeen in the chat. Very quiet at the moment. Paul Williams on the back of Ian Best now, although he's not, because Best he's had a moment somewhere. He's lost out to Williams and Simcoe. Looks like he's got more damage on that car. Your pit leader is that of Benny Varga, just ahead of Gabino. So Benny Varga doing what he needs to do at the moment. He's got a good clear track before Benny Archer in front of him. Benny Archer will be one of a few drivers to serve a qualifying ban tonight. So Williams and Simcoe at the moment doing what they need to do to move forward. Beto and that of Privet are coming into the pit lane, but Catherine Lane also into the pits, as is Peckman.
We know where Gerbino was before he pitted. I want to say like 7.
He was around Peckman. I don't know if he'd got ahead of him. He was around the Unsworth, Peckman, Sturrock Hunt fight, I do believe. So possibly just in front of them. Keep an eye on the weather, says Matt Wright. Indeed so, because rain expected in 10 minutes. It's already been wet, Matt Wright. If you've not joined the lads in the Discord channel, it has already been wet. So could we get a sprinkling of rain at the very end? Who knows? And this is the guesswork that drivers have got to do tonight. It's going to be an interesting one, because there's no way of telling what rain is going to or not going to come, but it's definitely got cloudier and it's definitely got darker around here. Lane's out the pit, so where is she in terms of Varga? Sorry, Langley.
Yeah, and if it does rain, it won't be worth pitting at all, so it could cause chaos. And yeah, Lane's out the pits, and Varga's ahead of her.
Yeah, way behind Benny Varga. I think Gabino got through. There's the rain! The rain's come early! So the drivers who have just pitted and it starts to rain here at the Nurburgring. The rain has fallen in the first race. It said half an hour. We didn't expect it to come within the first race. The track is now too fast. And the wet weather has come and hit us here. It's now a green surface out there. My days, Langley, this is a spicy race. It is coming down.
It is absolutely pouring out there, and the track is already too greasy. Maybe it is worth it to come into the pits for wet tires with the track changing this fast. Unbelievable change of circumstances. As you said, a half hour, we did not expect this at all, and the track is now already getting wetter and wetter as the second passes.
I can't believe that this has absolutely happened here. For the drivers who have pitted, Kieran Argent has come straight into the pit lane, and really, who can blame him? But is he going to stick on the slicks? Will he change to the wets? Because the wets will overheat in these greasy conditions. It is pouring out here at the Nurburgring at the moment. Johnson in, Brian Craig in as well. This could be a great strategy for a lot of these drivers. For those who's pitted, though, that could be disaster.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it changed from optimum to greasy in like the blink of an eye, but it hasn't moved from greasy to damp yet. So we'll see. As of right now, I believe the not switching to wets would be quicker, but with how heavy it's raining, is it going to stay that way?
Who knows? We've got 4 minutes left, so could be the gamble to stick on that dry tyre and not lose them extra 5 seconds with 4 minutes left in this race. Well, Benny Varga has taken the net lead of this, or the net lead, he's the lead pit runner, should I say, in this race. Unsworth all over the back of Hunt out there at the moment. De Block's got a 7-second lead to Greaves. This rain has really come out of nowhere. Good evening to Mike Matthews, PN Trains as well in the chat. It's going to be hot like a hot curry. Indeed it is, Andrew. It is going to be an interesting one as Hunt is round and into the wall hard. Out the Schumacher S's and into the wall. And that is what the greasy conditions will do to you.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He was having a great run in this sprint and just needed to get home. And you can see it is pouring now, according to the weather, and it's only supposed to get heavier. I think this is such an interesting decision.
I think, Langley, if somebody's put the wet tyres on because it's gone to damp, so it has flipped like that.
If you're De Block's pitted. If you're De Block, he should put on wet tyres 100%. Right now.
The wet tyre will be the tyre to be on. Benny Varga is your net pit leader. Has got Cabino on the back of him. You will lose the extra 5 seconds in the pits for changing tyres, but will it be worth it in the long run? By the time Cabino comes out the pits, there should be at least 2 to go. So we'll see on De Block, but Benny Varga's only coming into the final sector now. They may be tiptoeing through these final couple of corners. Good evening to Tips in the chat. This has just become interesting.
Wow. I think Benny Varga is going to take the race lead because obviously he did not take tires and he just took fuel only. So the ones taking tires will lose that 5 seconds. But is that going to make a difference at the end of this race? Because I believe we're going on to the final lap. Yeah. I could be wrong. It depends on how slow this is. But De Block's out the pit lane. I think he's clear of Varga. I don't know if he took tires, so...
yeah,
we'll see.
Interesting one. We'll see what De Block does. Varga is into second place. Gabino moves into third. Where's Catherine Lane? She will not be P4. So out the pits comes Greaves. I don't think we'll get the final lap, by the way, because I haven't seen it pop up.
Unsworth.
And Unsworth hasn't done his pit stop yet. This could be a catastrophic race for Unsworth if he doesn't do this, and it is the last lap of it. The bonus is the start line is pretty early in the pit lane. So even if he gets into his box, he can finish his pit stop. But my, oh my, we've got a race on our hands, battle down for P14 Leach on the back of what was the bronze leader. I don't think it is anymore. It might be actually. Yes, it is. It is the bronze leader of Darren Bell. And Leach looking to make a move through. Leach loves these wet conditions. But Langley, the big question to ask is, what do you do in race 2? Because we know with a 25-second set of fuel, you can run a half and half tank of fuel. and it will be okay. But what if it rains late on and you have gone that half a tank fuel?
Well, I think if you see rain at all within your little radar within the 30 minutes, I think you have to plan for that. Because as you can see in this race, we thought we weren't going to see rain at all, and I think Greaves is making a look on Varga around the outside of the Schumacher S, and
got ahead of Varga by a couple of seconds here, so Greaves about to put the moves on. No, can't get it
Varga's still on the Varga still has to be on the slicks. These guys have to be on the wet tires, and the track is wet now. Wet now.
This has changed in what, 2 laps? It's gone from optimum to wet. Unsworth has just started the final lap in the pit lane, so we are going to get one more in it, but this is the blocks to lose if you ask me. Gabino on for a second place. Benny Varga still on the podium. Darren Bell is your bronze leader. Gary Leach has made a mistake somewhere because he's got Williams going around the outside of him. What about Kieran Argent, was running in a good 4th?
Oh, I think Benny Varga's round. Varga's round at the final corner into the inside wall. He's got to keep going. He's got to keep it on track. I think he's just brushed the inside wall. I think he's going to get away with that in terms of damage.
Yeah, he's got a bit of front-end damage, but nothing too major. Greaves is also on the back of Gabino, so this shows how difficult it is. Argent, as I was just about to say, has lost out massively. He's down to 14th place, but if he's on the wet tyre, look at the gaggle of cars in front of him that could all be on the slicks. Argent's got damage as well. Nissan, I did an American thing there, the Nissan versus the BMW, they're coming down the start straight. Johnson gets through ahead of Gary Leach. Johnson's going to look up the inside of Williams into turn 1. It is pouring here in Germany. Who doesn't love a good bit of rain? And Johnson takes the lead. It takes P10 away from Williams, who has got fastest lap. What a race on our hands we've got here.
Wow. And Unsworth has come out the pits. Like you said earlier, it's the blocks to lose. Can Varga keep it on the track? It is. Who's on slicks, who's on wets, we don't know. And there's just a whole gaggle of cars behind where Andrew Taylor, Bell, Williams, Johnson all together right now.
Well, Argent's going to the outside of Gary Leach, and then Gary bounces off the curbs. Gary's definitely on the slicks. I think Argent's on the wets because he's carving his way through these lot like a knife through butter. Simcoe hasn't done his pit stops. That'll be a penalty for him at the end of this one. Greaves, though, on the back of Gabino. We're on the final lap. I think Greaves left it late enough to put the wet tyre on. Gabino definitely Williams on slicks out there. What's happened to Williams?
Williams late on the brakes and off at the hairpin.
So Sam Williams there having another moment. Back to Gabino and that of Greaves in this race at the moment. Gabino struggling out there on the slick tyre. Greaves has just got the momentum and the ability to try and get past him, but he can't through the little left-hand kink. Can he get it done? We're keeping our eyes on where the block is towards the start line. Greaves is going to have a look up the inside into the chicane. Greaves breaks late, can't get it done there. We'll go to the block though, who was on pole for this sprint race. Tyler de Block is going to take a race win, another race win at SimPlay Motorsport for him. What a result for de Block in this race. Gabino will hang on for second place from Greaves on the podium. Benny Varga will keep it P4. Good for his championship at least. Good consistency. 4th his worst result. Catherine Lane with Michael Johnson in the Nissan right behind her. Can the Nissan just get ahead? Stop go penalty for somebody. No, the Nissan can't. Lane from Johnson. From Sturrock, your bronze winner from Peckman. Then it's Darren Bell, Kieran Argent, Andrew Taylor, Wolski, Gary Leach, Williams. Then it's that of Lino. Unsworth's going to come towards the line. I'm not sure who's got a time penalty here. Unsworth P16, Hunt 17th place with damage. Privet P18, Paul Williams in P19. Simcoe got the stop code penalty to add to his non-pitting penalty. Tucker 20th. Brian Craig, excuse me, 21st. From then, that of Neil Broom, who could lose out to Malarex, but we'll see on the exit of the final corner. The rain's going to calm down in the next 10 minutes. Look, it's Broom from Malarex. Beto, not the result he'd have wanted in this bronze category this evening. He'd have hoped to carry on that momentum, but off the podium in bronze, and only just ahead of his closest championship rival at the minute, that of Ian Best, who takes 24th and 25th. Phil Atherton in 26th. We wait for Lee, Archer, Smith, Simcoe and Dronelander. But Langley, what an opening race to the evening. That's fantastic.
What a result for Sturrock and Bell. I mean, that's going to be massive points in the Bronze Championship. P7 and P9 respectively. That is going to be an outstanding
Oh,
result as the championship goes on.
I've just noticed that Millington's just come back in the lobby from 3 laps down. So did we lose Millington's connection there momentarily? So I wonder if we lost Steve. Hopefully Rob is in the stream so he can tell us. It's been 84 years since we last had some decent wet weather. It's not been that long, Phil, but yes, I get your point you're trying to make as we just await now for Rob Smith and Simcoe to get round. So, yeah, what a shame that is for Steve in this race. Oh, we've just lost. I think we've lost Rob Smith because we've just lost a drive. We're down to 31 again now from the 32. So not sure who that was. It is Rob Smith. He was pretty much at the line, so we'll get points for 28. And we're just waiting for Simcoe to cross the line. But that was such a spicy opening race. That was a good one.
Yeah, and neither of us expected that. And it was unlucky because if you were caught in that first lap incident and you pitted, you're going to stay on slicks.
Yeah.
And then the rain came anyway, and now your already terrible situation was made worse. And I think that's what happened to Sam Williams. And he was caught in that first lap. He pitted. He had fastest lap of the race. He was working his way back up the pack. And then the rain came, and he was stuck on slicks. And anyone who was on slicks, you lost. Varga was lucky; he was so far ahead of everyone else, and still finished P4. As you said, that's going to be good for his championship, because it's a race where, on paper, he probably shouldn't have done well because of this rain, but he still did.
Yeah, he still did. We're going to be right back in a few moments' time with race number 2. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the feature. fact, I don't think I need to do that no more because we're just on this. So I'll just transition and... Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to race number 2 of the evening, round 4. What a first race that was. The Teams Championship, Audio Sport lead by 80 points from Black and Blue Racing. Sorry, I've got to subtract some points from Black and Blue due to Bettison joining them this week. So Bettison's points will not count for the team from last week. So I will subtract them. In fact, I'll do that now and then I'll have a quick recount in just a moment. So we scored 119. So that will be subtracted. So then I'll work this one back out and we'll get the Teams Championship back underway. But Langley, while I do this, fast track for qualifying. It was green in that second part of practice we had just a moment ago.
Yeah, I think we had a few more cars out on track than usual that we would have seen in that second 10-minute practice, because usually that practice is to use the restroom, go grab a water, a drink, snack, something, just to get ready for this next qualifying and then the hour-long race. But we had, I think, 10 to 15 cars out on track trying to rubber it in, because from the rain, which in game time was technically the day before, it washed all the rubber off and it made the track green. So it was green in that practice session, and now it's only in fast condition for this qualifying session. We'll see if it hits optimum with this many cars on track, probably at some point, which could make the grid very spicy, because an optimum track is worth around probably 0.3 to a half a second sometimes, and it could be worth even more if you're more confident on an optimum track. But as you were saying during the break, I'll have more of what happened in race 1 and race 2, please. I'll take a little more of that, please. Can we get it chucking it down at the beginning, or can we get it chucking it down in the middle of the race, something right around where the pit stops are needed to be made? Because yeah, I'll take some more of that.
Let's put it this way, Langley. If that race 1 was race 2, it was going back to being dry at the end. So we'd have gone from dry to wet, back to dry. Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm looking forward to that one. Now, drivers who are on a qualifying ban due to retirements or penalty points from last week are that of Benny Archer, who's got 2 retirement bans. He should have been at the back of the grid for this first race, but I forgot about double retirement. So he'll have a qualifying ban served next week. Sam should also be in the pits. So Benny Archer we can see in the pits. Catherine Lane's in the pits, not sure why. DJ Phil in the pits, not sure why. Gabino is on track. Sturrock is in the pits. So Sam can't set a time. Neither can Sherrymore, but he's not here. Flores isn't here, and Simcoe is here. So Sturrock and Archer are serving their bans. I'm seeing both Hunt and we're all missing a driver. So is that the other Porsche? Because I'm only seeing Hunt and Lane. So possibly. So that will, I'd say, counts. He was here for race 1 for Sam. And then Simcoe, who is out on circuit, needs to really get back in the pits and not set a lap time. We'll get to the championship standings as well. The team's championship on his Audio Sport 82, clear of real-time racing, with Quantum Motorsport in 3rd place. Sodor Racing a P4 from Team Merlot, 4Q from Greasy Bandits and its Team Aspire, SimPlay Racing, Black and Blue Racing, Balkan Sim Hub, SC Racing from SRC Motorsport, Bearded Racing, Team GBR, Billy No makes Road Run Motors. Silver, 42 points separating Benny Varga and Wolski, with Unsworth in 3rd. Williams stays 4th ahead of Lino. Then it's Gabino, Taylor, Argent, Brian Craig, Michael Johnson, good result for him. Steve Millington's 11th from Peckman, Hunt, Williams, Greaves, Dronelander, Broom, De Block, Old Sim, Lane, Leach, Flores, Lee, Jimenez, Davis, Cummins and Waste yet to participate in the race. Bronze, well, Bestie's closed the gap up to Bettison a little bit. That's only 35 points from Bettison to Bestie. Malarex P3, then it's Tucker, Privet, Sturrock, Atherton, Bell, Rob Smith, Simcoe, Sherrymore, Andrews and Archer. Now the drop scores take place from this week. They won't show up on the tables until next week to allow at least 2 rounds of the drop scores to take place. So we'll see what happens there. Simcoe has set a lap time, so he'll have to carry his qualifying ban into next week. And are we back up to the 32? No, we're not. But Langley, you just take a look for me as well. I can't see a secondary Porsche of Greaves in there at all at the moment.
I will take a look, and I do not see him right now. I will also say I'm not even sure what a good time is now because I have an idea of what like a really good time is, a good time is, and a decent time is with an optimum track.
Yeah.
I would have thought a 56.7 is slow. It's not with this track condition right now in fast track, and it's only going to get faster, I believe. So Williams ahead of Varga right out the block. No pun intended for him being P3. Right out the gates early in this qualifying session, and he does go faster now, 8 tenths ahead. And if we look back to last week, I don't know if you agree, but I think Sam was the quickest one-lap driver. He was definitely the quickest driver, but the consistency brought it back for him last week, and then getting involved in some incidents. I think he got very unlucky race 1 tonight, and hopefully he keeps his head in, and we can see a very good one. And Gary Leach, only 600ths off the back of Williams after that lap.
Yeah, pretty good. Where's Kieran Argent? He popped up with a surprise pole position last week. He's currently down in P14. The 180 is coming round to complete a lap. So, not sure why Lane Gabino and Gabino is now the only one because Lane's come up. Greaves is back in. So Greaves, Sturrock, and Archer to do qualifying bands. That one seems to be the way at the moment, and that seems to be okay. Just looking at who else it was. So it was Cherrymore and Flores. They're not here. And then it was meant to be Simcoe, but Simcoe has done a qualifying lap, so he will have to carry that ban over to next week. But at the minute, like you say, it's Williams 5 thousandths of a second quicker than Dronelander at the moment. Dronelander looking pretty quick out there in qualifying. Who's going to complete the next lap? It will be Williams. The other two are on out laps, it says at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm expecting Varga to pop in a time at some point, and we're just like, well, yep, there it is. We were expecting that at some point. But yeah, only less than a tenth separate the top 3, less than 2 the top 4, and a second down to 9th place. But the track is getting quicker, and you can see the line is getting a bit darker and darker as William goes a little bit faster now, just a couple of tenths quicker. And yeah, each corner is getting a little bit darker and darker with rubber, and the track will get faster throughout this. So you need to be out there right at the end. And I think Varga's catching traffic, and
he is
kind of hurting him a little bit.
And let's not forget, as Varga goes P1, so it's not hurting him too much. 600ths of a second quicker than Williams. But let's not forget as well. Oh, now Lee by 2 tenths. Wow, that's a lap time from Lee. Here comes the Nissan to the start line. Doesn't improve that time round. Let's not forget, Langley, with losing Q1, puts the tyre sets down to 7 for the rest of the season. So drivers only have 7 tyre sets. So not like you can go back to the pits and really chuck another one on, depending on, well, saying that, most of practice was wet, wasn't it? So maybe drivers have got an extra couple of sets of tyres they could change to.
Yeah, Bettison up in P4.
Wow.
Showing his continued silver pace from last week. That is a great time for him, and he is massively improved this year. Like, very impressive. Dronelander up into P3, pipping Williams down into P4, but Williams is on another lap and will be one of the next ones to cross the line and set another time.
Indeed he will. So De Block moves up into P number 8. The next lap will be that of Phil Atherton. And where is he currently? 6.9 off the back. Track's now optimum, Langley. And like you said, it's going to rubber in and get better and better and better as we go through this evening's racing. What a night's worth of racing it's been, though. What a night's worth of action and drama we've had already. It's only going to get better from here as Phil Atherton improves but doesn't do anything in terms of changing his position. What about Sam Williams now? Needs to find 3 tenths. Can he find it? You bet your dollar he can! 6 tenths quicker than Lee. That is a lap time.
Found a second in his lap time. Like, wow. Okay. And that's more of what I was. We're getting into the times that I knew were good, that I was expecting. I do think we'll see a 54 at some point, I'll be honest.
I think it's coming because the track's still just going to get quicker and quicker as we go through. Benny Varga's had a moment, so his lap time will be a bit of a poor one. Andrew Taylor drops down a position, loses 75. That's Bettison, who's now off circuit, so he won't improve at the moment. We then turn our attention to Malarex in the Aston Martin. at the moment.
Yeah, and Bell in P2 in class, picking up where he left off in that sprint race. Great result for him. Great result for Sturrock as well. I mean, those are just a couple of a couple just outlier finishing positions that the rain brings to us. And oh man, I really want some more race 2, Matt. I'm praying. I'm praying. I'm rubbing my hands together. I would need some more of that. As a driver, sometimes you don't want it, sometimes you do want it. Like tomorrow night, I'm not sure if I want it. I don't think I do, but but I know for sure that anyone watching is like, yeah, I'll have that every night of the week if I had the choice.
We looked at the forecast earlier. Mike put the forecast in, and you know, it's exactly the same. So. But that doesn't transpire as to be the weather will do the exact same things. It could rain harder, it could rain less. You know, it could be sunny, it could just be overcast, it could be fully wet. We just don't know at the moment. That's as is the way ACC works. Right, here comes Williams to the line. Does he improve? No, he does not. Car 64. That one is, just trying to find 64, that is Darren Bell. Currently sat P17, not a bad qualifying from Darren, moves up to 15th place, so improves a little bit there. The 680 is next to set a lap time, and that is Lino. He was asking in the Discord earlier why there was no qualifying for race 1. That is due to the reverse grid races. And Lino to the line, and Lino shoots himself up into 2nd place from 15th on the grid. That is an improvement. Here comes Benny Varga though, championship leader. Only finds 2/10, moves up to P4.
Yeah, but he's only a half a tenth behind P2, and he could still get that if he still has a couple more qualifying laps now. But man, Sam is lighting the track up right now compared to the rest of the field. 6/10 is definitely some margin.
It is indeed. It's a huge margin as Broom comes across the line. No improvement for him. What about Lane? 14th place. Stays where she is. Next man on track is car 23. That will be the man down in 26th place now of Mark Tucker. So we'll see what he can do across the line in this qualifying session now. And yeah, this has been an epic night, a real epic night of racing and drama. Really, let's say that let's not sugarcoat it. It's been fantastic so far, and long may it continue into this next one as Tucker crosses the line, goes 26th. Next man on a valid time that we can see will be Adam Williams. And what a bonus that this track is longer than Alton Park. It gives us more time to see who's setting lap times.
Oh man, it is amazing. And you were saying what a night it's been. Yeah, picking up from last week. It has just been an absolute wonderful start to the season here at SimPlay Motorsport, and the M2s last night and last week. Pro-Am tonight, Pro tomorrow. It has been quality racing up and down the field. So much drama, so many unexpected turns, and that's exactly what we signed up for. Whether you're a viewer or a driver, it doesn't matter. That's exactly what we've come here for, and that's exactly what we've been provided, and it has been amazing to say the least.
It really has. Absolutely fantastic to say the least. We're also only 4 subscribers away, so thank you all so much. From 1,100, so just hitting another 100 milestone there, as Lino didn't improve. The 114 of Unsworth, 12th at the minute for Unsworth. Had better pace in race 1 than what he's showing at the minute in qualifying. As I say that, he moves up to 8th place so far. Bettison, by the way, P7. Top bronze driver in qualifying again. He is looking mighty in that Lexus this year.
Yeah, looking great. And Gary Leach up to P5. I mean, it's good to see him up there again.
Yeah. Gone back in something stable. Looks like he's going to try and just, stick at it for the season. And good for him. Good for him in this one. Right, Wolski rounding the final corner. Could be the first driver to finish qualifying. He will be the first driver to finish qualifying. 22nd for Wolski at the moment. Crosses the line. Jumps to 14th. Boy, oh boy, that was some lap there from Wolski. That's a huge gain of 8.
Yeah, Varga's in the pit lane, so his qualifying is over. I believe Lino's still on a lap, and he's the only... I'm not sure. Leach is on a lap, but there's not many others. Jerome Lander's coming around the final corner now to set a time.
Yeah, now it's that time. Mike Matthews has just said, now the question is there any raining coming? Well, we'll see momentarily as here comes Dronelander. Doesn't find an improvement. Who's the 84? That is...
De
Block. Where's De Block? He's 11th, and he will stay 11th. Now the 53 of Phil Atherton. 5.7 off the back at the moment, Phil. A bit off the pace, it's safe to say. What can he do in this one? Improved slightly, stays 5.4. Now it's car number 75. That is Beto, who comes into the pit lane. So he is done. We then next have the 680. That is Lino. 6 seconds, a big gap to find though. What can Lino find as he comes towards the line? 89 is done. It's slowing down. Lino to the line. No improvement. The 313 is Gary Leach. Could have been on an outlap. So what will Gary Leach do here? Is there going to be an improvement? The 114 is just invalidated. That was Unsworth. And Gary Leach comes towards the line and doesn't find an improvement. And I don't think Unsworth will neither. No, back to the pits they go. So that is your qualifying in the bag for this second race this evening. And you have to say, that is a heck of a time and a statement, really, from Sam Williams there.
Yeah, I do believe Gerbino's still on a lap. He's pushing quite hard into this final sector. He is P17 right now, coming into the final corner. Yeah, we'll see if he can make an improvement. Here he comes to the line, out of the final corner. He's P17 right now. Where does he go? He is P9. What a jump for him. Now a top 10 starting position for him. But yeah, as I was saying, Williams set the track alight in that qualifying session. 6/10, some gap. Championship leader Varga in the lead by what, 40 something points? What did you say at the break, Matt?
It is 42 to Wolski, 69 to Williams. So yeah, big gap to fill there.
Yeah, and so hopefully Williams, like I said, he has the pace. Just need the consistency. Hopefully he doesn't do what the pole sitter did last week, and unfortunately collapse at the first corner. But nah, Argent, we love you. We love you. But yeah, I love to see people who weren't at the front last year, or even these like Lee, I remember seeing last year, but he wasn't at the front. He's P3 right now. He's ahead of Varga, and Leach is back. Dronelander's a new name, and Lino's a new name. And if they aren't new names, I apologize. But yeah, it's good to see these drivers all at the front fighting. And Williams, he has picked up probably around a second apace from what he was doing last year. And personally, I just want to see him keep the consistency up, because he could make a real challenge. And I'm not trying to be biased as a commentator, but in the overall picture of things, I want a closer championship too. Varga's 45 points ahead, I think you said, and 69 to Williams. So it's not me rooting against Varga. I love him too, and I love seeing him do good. But as a fan, as a racer, as a driver, you want that intense rivalry of a championship fight down to the very end. So I'm really hoping that we get good consistency out of Williams, Lino, Lee, Leach, put them all up in the front of this championship fight this year.
Yeah, completely with you. Completely agree. I think that's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Now, there is no rain. Looks like it's coming at the moment, but this is an hour race. We can only see the first half an hour of weather. Steve Millington didn't qualify in that event. He is suffering with a few internet problems. So for Millington, not a qualification there for him. So hopefully he can get back in to get some points on the board. Obviously, a bit of a bonus that drop scores will obviously take effect this week. They'll show on the tables as from next week. But yeah, for Steve Williams there, not the night he'd have wanted with the internet not playing well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. P3 last week, I believe, in the feature race. Good comeback. So it's not something that he can control, unfortunately, and it's just a bit of unlucky nature of online racing. So he'll come back next week. He'll be stronger next week, I'm sure of it. And hopefully, I mean, honestly, he could still get in before this race starts if possible. But if not, then I'm sure he'll be back next week, stronger than before.
Yeah, hopefully so. Poll's gone out for who you think will be the race 2 winner. If you put other, please let us know who the other is and who you think it could be. But great, who's your money on in this one?
I know I gave that speech last week about how we love an underdog in Argent, and then unfortunate scenes happened at the first corner. Williams' pace is undeniable. Varga's going to have his consistency. I mean, without knowing too many others in the top 5, I got to put my money on Williams if he keeps it on track.
Yeah. I'm going to look at Gary Leach, you know. I'm going to look at Gary Leach. 2-time champ, won the first 2 SimPlay Motorsport championships ever. If you haven't seen them, go back onto the playlist. Not now, but do them in your free time and take a look at them. I sound like Kelly a little bit now. Steve has got back in. He's sat in the pit lane. But yeah, I don't think you can write off Gary. Yeah, let's give Gary a shout. I'm going to go Gary Leach. I'm probably not going to have absolutely ruined his race, but yeah, I fancy Gary. I think Gary could be the one to do something here. I think P5's not a million miles away, and you know, Sam's race 2 last week didn't exactly go according to plan, did it? So he's got to iron out them mistakes. Where did Sam's teammate qualify, by the way? Andrew Taylor was down in 18th position. So yeah, not the best qualifiers from Andrew there.
Yeah, and we're getting into a 2x2 file now. I'd also like to see a first-time winner. We always love a first-time winner. So
Yeah.
the likes of Lee, the likes of Lino, Dronelander. Yeah, I mean, if they're up there fighting,
and how good would it be as well
great
to see Bettison win?
Yes.
Not just the bronze category, but the outright race.
Oh, yeah. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Maybe the weather will do that. We'll see here as we get ready to go.
We will indeed. We're about to get racing then for round number 4 of the season. It's green and go here at the Nurburgring. That's a good start from Benny Varga, already splitting that of Lee and Lino, just bouncing off of Lee a little bit there. This has allowed Williams to have a free getaway up front, and Varga pulls ahead of Lee. Just a little earlier on the brakes was Lee there. Back up the inside though. That's a Porsche and a block in the wall at turn 1. And what has happened? It was Hunt who was in it. Not the pile-up we saw a moment ago, but Drama's already at the start line. Lee, though, got back ahead. Now Gary Leach and Lino have got back in front of Benny Varga as well. So a good start from Leach, but Varga got the initial getaway. Couldn't get it done, though, at turn 1, could he?
Yeah, I wasn't able to see what happened. It looked like Lee dove back down the inside and probably caught Varga off guard. It looked like a little bit of contact in the braking zone into the first corner. Back there, everyone else seemed to avoid it pretty well, though. It looked like Hunt went wide and with the block in the wall, but I didn't see anyone else running into each other.
Well, there must have been a moment for Taylor. I didn't see Taylor caught up in it, but Taylor's dropped down to second from last bar, Steve Millington. So Taylor's dropped down a little bit there, but Lino having to watch in his mirrors the 2-time champion, multiple, and when I say multiple, a lot of Constructors' Championships to Gary Leach's name in this championship. Then Kieran Argent P12 at the P11 at the moment. Sorry, that's changing since alternated. We've got Catherine Lane on the back of Wolski. That's all done now. So this is now the positions in this race. Bestie didn't get a good start. He was third in bronze. He's dropped down the order. Rob Smith in that Honda coming under pressure. Here's the block looking up the inside of Bestie. Bestie defends that one on the inside. Nice and easy there for me and Best, and through there you go at the moment.
Gerbino and Argent are side by side going into this final chicane on the back straight. Ooh, that's going to be very tight indeed. And Gerbino just squeaks ahead of Argent. Argent had a great start. He started P13 up to P9, now P10.
Yeah.
But
that's
still,
Benny Varga. Benny Varga's been off as Argent just avoids him to come on to the circuit. Benny Varga's been off in a big way on the exit of the final corner. And that is going to really hurt him in this second race. Argent, is he going to think of a manoeuvre up the inside of Gabino into turn 1? Gabino gives him a wide berth. Ooh. Argent very slow. And in the background, that looks like no. Darren Bell. That's laying around. Bell's into the side of Peckman. And the Nissan goes through. And this more contact. The Nissan hits Bell into Peckman, and around they both go.
Yeah, it looked like, I think it was Hunt trying to go down the inside of Bell, and it looked like Bell gave him the good old, as we call it, the bestie squeeze. It looked like a bit marginal moving under braking there, I'll be honest, and then there was contact inevitably at the first corner with no space given, and just chaos ensued after that.
Yeah, it did indeed. So this is the way it looks at the moment. It's Williams from Lee, from Lino from Gary, Unsworth, Beto still up in P6, and it's Dronelander, Gabino, and then Kieran Argent. And this is Gabino, Argent and the Wolski battle at the moment. That is Gabino very wide. So Argent and Wolski, thank you mama for the carrots through. There you go. And they move up another place. Johnson with a bit of damage on the side. He's behind Paul Williams. Look at this gaggle of cars in the background. That's Tucker trying to get past Privet, but cannot do so there. DJ Phil Atherton is up into 20th place overall at the moment. He's got Malarex and now the wounded Darren Bell on the back of him. Then comes Bestie and Sturrock with De Block. Then it's Greaves, Rob Smith, Benny Archer, Brian Craig, Andrew Taylor, Broom, and then Millington, who has just disconnected again. So that internet isn't playing ball. Who's car 19? That's Cabino. Off again and in a big way after on the exit of the Schumacher Estes. In fact, no, that's not the Schumacher Estes. That's the two sets of corners afterwards. So Cabino's off in a big way. And there is Broom who's gone around just behind him. Drivers are struggling more here in the dry than they was in the wet.
Yeah. He's struggling more in the dry than the wet. Well, I don't understand the desperation. Lads, we got an hour to go. There's 55 minutes still left in this race. No need to dive bomb. No need to get aggressive. I mean, 1 point isn't going to change your championship, but losing 10 points might. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of aggressiveness, but we still got quite a few cars near each other here at the front of the pack. Sam's built a good 1.5 second gap, it seems, but we still have Lee, Lino, Leach, and yeah, those three all together right behind them. And then we have the likes of Unsworth, Pedersen, and Dronelander together.
We do indeed, where you were saying that. We saw Hunt lose out to Varga at turn 1. That's probably just the damage to the Porsche, hurting it a little more. Johnson gaining on the back of, in fact, now he's past Paul Williams, so that'll update when they come through sector 1. They've got Lane and Simcoe with them too as well. Then it's Privet from Tucker with Peckman with a bit of damage on his car. Phil Atherton has got a train behind him, and that starts with, where's Malrex? He's dropped back a long way actually, because Phil Atherton coming under pressure now from Bestie, and here goes Bestie. Ford Mustang obviously restricted today. Phil Atherton on the controller, jinking onto the grass a little bit there, and moves across on Bestie in the braking zone and puts Bestie onto the grass. Bestie gets the move done. May lose out to Sturrock on the exit. We'll wait and see, but DJ Phil's giving Bestie a flash of the lights. Not sure why, that was all on Phil.
Yeah, it looked like it just wasn't under control, and the Honda behind him loses Rob Smith, and he spins round at the Schumacher S, and he did not hit anyone luckily, but that is a mistake all on his own.
Gabino into the pits early. I just wonder how many drivers, I'm going to look at the Simbot website that we've got for the fuel in front of us in a minute, so I wonder how many drivers have gone, I'm going to go long in this race just in case we get a downpour. That could be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Bettison on the rear of Dronelander coming down turn number 1 at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can see 8 names that have at least gone 65 plus litres at the start of this race. So they're possibly waiting for a bit of rain to show up on that weather report.
Yeah, if I were to say right now, it's not looking like rain. If I were to go off what just happened last race, what do I know?
We can't see we can't see the last half an hour, so this could still get spicy. Fight for Lee and Lino for second and third at the moment. Gary's dropped off the back of these a little bit, but Dronelander fighting, defending against Beto. And then we've got Johnson on the back of Hunt, taking Paul Williams with him. Simcoe on the back of Lane. Tucker and Peckman having a squabble here. Darren Bell trying to gain on Malrex, who is ahead then of Bestie. He's got Sam Greaves with him now, so Phil Atherton's dropped down to 27. So he's had a few more dramas as Phil Atherton, and that is Andrew Taylor trying to get past this Brian Craig at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Johnson's trying to go around the outside of Hunt, not going to work there at the hairpin up to the Schumacher S. We're getting a little train here a little bit with Tucker and Heckman, as you said, squabbling it out, and we'll see if there's any moves or any people going wide up here. Does not look like it at the moment, but yeah, what a start to the race. Varga's down a little bit, but I think he'll be fine as this race goes on. It's spicy for the championship though if it stayed like this.
Huge at the moment. Cabino's the only man who's done his pit stops. We'll keep our eyes on that. Johnson has got past Hunt, so Varga now will Sorry, Varga's already ahead of Hunt. It's Williams who's going to try and get past Hunt. Hunt's damage just hurting him in this race at this stage, I feel. And it may be worth pitting just to get that one out of the way and done. I know the rain may come at the end, but that damage is hurting him too much now. And this could cost him later on. So good train forming behind Hunt here. And Lee has pulled away from Lino a little bit. Leach not being able to get back onto the rear of them two so far.
Yeah, and Greaves is now on the back of Bestie, Ian Best, going down the front straight. He lost a little bit in the last corner, though, unfortunately. At Ford, even with the power restrictor, is still a tough beast to pass.
What's the restrictor in the bottom for the Ford this week? So obviously everything else pretty much normal, and then obviously I know the restrictor.
I believe the restrictor is 19% consistently.
So
it is.
Last week,
it's 20. You're right. It's 20% restrictor. So the 20% restrictor I think is consistent, track to track, and then the BOP with the weight is revolved around the new power in the Ford, so it has minus 19 kilos this week.
Minus 19 kilos. So there we go. So that's what the Ford has got to carry. Well, Bestie's down the order in the bronze category at the moment. Lino trying to get back onto the rear of Lee. Lee driving a good race though at the moment. Could be his first podium, I do believe, as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Kieran Dronelander gaining on the back of Unsworth. And all looking pretty good at the minute. Steve disconnected 4 times. New internet time, I believe. So that is probably Steve's night run in this race.
Yeah, so Matt, if we go anything off of last week, we can't say anything. We'll jinx all of the drivers. So, I mean, I'd love to talk to a couple new drivers of Lee and Lino. Let's hope they don't run into each other now. As Lino is on the back of Lee going onto the front straight. Williams has pulled out a little over a 2-second gap. So good start for him. If he keeps this consistency, it'd be a great turnaround from last week's race too.
And he's just taking it nice and patient at the moment, isn't he, Williams? He's not looking overly aggressive, but saying that, like you said earlier, the nature of Alton Park to the Nurburgring is totally different. So it's easier for Williams to get more into a rhythm and a flow around here. Train of 4 cars coming on the back of Hunt. Down the start straight we go. Just going to flick back to Lino because he's side by side with Lee in towards turn number 3. And Lino fends that one off. What about Hunt and Williams? Williams stays where he is at the moment. Can't do anything about Hunt thus far. They've got Lane gaining on them as well. But yeah, Lino just starting to put the pressure on Lee now.
Yeah, we're talking about Williams with the mistakes last week. I did have a little chat with him before, and I said, at this point in the season, it's okay to finish second. It's okay to finish 3rd, 4th, 5th. You just need to build your points up right now. And Lane gets by Williams here out of the exit of the slow corners. Next up the road is Hunt. So we'll see if she can get up to his rear. But yeah, you just need to build points at this point in the season. And like we see Varga, he's down in P10, and I mean, anything can happen. So you just want that consistency. And my point to him was, you have the pace, but don't over push yourself. Yeah. Don't overdrive the car to a point where you're driving yourself into mistakes. It's okay to finish 3rd, 4th, 5th. And that goes for any driver, really. Yeah, of course. And, you know, just easy to do at Alton Park, isn't it? As well, especially on such a bumpy circuit. And, yeah, very easy to do there. Watching Andrew Taylor on the back of Brian Craig. They've got Sturrock with them as well. Coming through the Schumacher S's. Dronelander onto the back of Unsworth into the final corner. Not going to work there. Got a bad run out of the chicane. Onto the front straight. That Ferrari is going to be a little down, but we'll see if he can pop in the slipstream. Turn 1 opens up quite a lot. You can make a little send if you want to, but it'd be quite a bit of a send from back here, and he thinks better of it. Good on him. Yeah, good on him. Walsey's got Benny Varga gaining on the back of him as well, so keep our eyes on that battle. We've got Lino and Lee. That's open back up. Leach not been able to stick with the front 2. In this one, he was on them earlier on. Williams still with Lane now, and this has allowed Hunt to just stretch his legs a little bit. This has brought Simcoe and Tucker into play with these two now, so they're off the back of Hunt and more under pressure from Simcoe and Tucker from behind. Then Greaves has got past that of Best, so as to block now. Greaves has just got ahead of Malorex at turn 1. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to go through the highlights of race 1 ready to put on the social media platforms this weekend and on the YouTube short, so make sure you keep your eyes out for them. Taylor's got ahead of Brian Craig because race 1's highlights could be
a fascinating one to watch. Broome's just got ahead of Phil Atherton, so Phil down to second to last then. So what's the closest fight on circuit? It's got to be this Lane Williams battle at the moment, I'm going to assume, because this has looked a good fight at the minute. Lane just starting to pull away from Williams now, though.
Yeah, I know Simcoe had a quali ban. He'll carry that into next week, but he is running P2 in class right now, and well, Pedersen has been the by far and away top bronze driver, so if you took him out of the equation with all the other bronzes squabbling over second and third, good drive for him right now, and Tucker and P3 right there on his rear end.
Yeah, indeed, it's too bad at the minute.
Simcoe runs a little wide and just lets Tucker go.
Lets him go. So what was looking pretty good for Simcoe is made a mistake and now Tucker's through. So Peckerman not far off the back. We've got Malarek sticking in the back of Greaves a little bit further back. No, he's not. But that timetable is deceiving us. The block closer to him. Let's see him best. Andrew Taylor.
Yeah, Simcoe loses it at the chicane. He keeps it out of the wall. And like I just said 2 minutes ago, we can't say anything about these drivers because we'll jinx them.
We did. Yeah, there we go. He's lost out to Tucker, he's lost out to Peckerman, and he's lost out to Darren Bell for his drive.
Yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault, mate. I'm sorry about that.
On board Wolski now, P9. He's got Benny Varga, championship leader. First and second in the Silver Championship, actually, here between these two. So, gap will close between them at this rate, but at the minute, Benny Varga's clearly got more pace than Wolski, and I think Varga, once he clears Wolski, if he clears Wolski, could get onto the back of Argent pretty sharpish in this one. They've also got Gabino, who's lapped down, so he's made his pits, made all their mistakes, done his pit stop, he's now a lap down, so was running well, and is a lap down here in this race at the moment. He was in front of this pack, he was just in front of Argent, so he'd have been 8th place at the moment.
Yeah, I will say I'm keeping an eye on this Lee-Lino battle. It looks like Lino has more pace, but the Ferrari, I can say from experience, it is a bit difficult to overtake if the other driver doesn't make a mistake. It is not the fastest car in a straight line, and you usually are running max downforce on it, but most cars are as well. But still, it looks like he has a little more pace. We'll see if Lee makes a mistake.
Let's see indeed. So at the moment, Benny Varga just trying to get a little bit closer to the back of Wolski. It's a lot more calmer, isn't it, this week on a longer circuit compared to last. As here goes Sturrock up the inside at the Schumacher S's on Tucker. Tucker holds it strong around the outside and will keep, Brian Craig, not Tucker, sorry, and will keep hold of that position. Tucker running in a solid 50. Who's your bronze leader at the moment? That is Bettison. From then Tucker, then Darren Bell. So all good so far. And Gary Leach has dropped even further behind the front too as Benny Varga back on the rear of Wolski. Coming down the start-finish line they come now. Can Benny Varga think of making a move on Wolski? Is he going to pull to the inside? He does, but Wolski makes sure that line is not allowed through. Varga's going to try the long way around, and that'll give him the inside line if he can hold it there, but runs a little deep on exit and has to tuck back in behind once again.
Yeah, very difficult to overtake sometimes, but I will say this is one track where if you send it, you can send it at turn 1. It does open up a switchback, but then you can get racing for multiple corners after that.
Yeah, through the Mercedes-Benz Arena. I'm not a big fan of the Mercedes-Benz Arena. I do prefer the Nordschleife 24 layout where it kind of cuts that arena out and comes back down to this next section. But it's there for the Grand Prix part of the track, and that's what we have to deal with in the stream. So Simcoe into the pits at the moment in this race. That'll see where Gabino comes out in relation to him. The 5.55 and 3. Ooh. That is Sturrock, and it was the 3 of Brian Craig. So they've had a moment through the Mercedes-Benz Arena that could allow Privet to have a look, and it doesn't. But yeah, that's a mistake for them two there, and them two's had a yellow flag brought up. Benny Varga putting the pressure on Wolski still at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a great race so far. Still, and even with this, I think we're getting more pure racing rather than just utter chaos that Alton Park brought us last week. 68 looks to be in a battle right now. I could not see. Oh, stop and go 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that is speeding in the pit lane. So that's a stop penalty for him, and that'll.
That's my curse. Yep.
Yeah, where is he? He's just got through turn 1, so that'll put Gabino on the back of him at least. So Yeah, that's an interesting one. Bestie's close to the back of De Block again. So Bestie's sticking with De Block at the moment. So Bestie looking all right. Where's Greaves? Greaves got ahead of Malarex. Let's put another car between them. Yeah, at the moment, Wolski allowing Argent to clear away from him and Benny Varga, because he is defending hard here against Benny Varga is Wolski at the moment. And we got to speak to Wolski last week, I think for the first time. I don't think he came in with Dan last season, so we got to speak to Wolski on the podium. That was nice to hear from Wolski, but interesting little race so far, really interesting little race.
For sure, and I get a little bit of a surprise is Greaves, and I mean, we said he finished P3 last year, and he beat me on track quite a few times. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that this week, but even from last week, it wasn't what he wanted. So, still a long season ahead, and I expect him to claw some points back at some point. But he did move out of that Lexus because he did not like the way it drove through the corners. Obviously, it's probably the quickest car in a straight line, and it is kind of funny sometimes just seeing it breeze past other cars, but he did not like the way it drove through the corners, which is why he and his teammate switched to the Porsche for this season.
Yeah. And he got the podium in race 1 though, didn't he? So he got the 3rd place in race 1, so did it in the wet. Got to try and do it now in the dry, because there's no indication of rain coming at the moment.
Yeah, Matt, I don't think it's been a bad race. I think we just got spoiled in race 1.
I think we did as well.
Just
Simcoe's got 2 laps to do his draft. I think we got spoiled in race 1. I mean, there is still that chance of rain. I just think this is what the nature of a normal circuit does, unlike Alton Park. And with Alton Park being such a short circuit, everybody was close together. Now, you know, they can just spread out a little bit.
Unsworth was a little wide, and Groenlander is through up into P5.
It is indeed, yeah. Just seen that on the timing towers now. So Unsworth's lost out. That would have been the dirt kicked up we saw while watching Benny Varga and Wolski here. Good little battle between
moving to
these
turn
two.
1.
Comes Varga round the outside, the 64 yellow flag. Now can Varga hold it strong around the outside? He'll give him the inside line. Bit of a wiggle from Wolski. Tap on the side of Wolski by Benny Varga. Wolski manages to save it, and Varga's through. I'm sure we'll see that one in the steward's room. But the 64, that is Darren Bell, who's had a moment. He's dropped behind Taylor, so he's lost out a lot of positions now. That's given Bestie, Taylor, De Block, Malrex and Greaves all an extra position. Paul Williams now on the back of Hunt. He stayed in. No, he's got back ahead of Lane. So Williams has got back in front at some point now. But Benny Varga is through. How quick can he catch down Argent? 1.6 seconds to Kieran Argent. How quick will that come down in this one? And
yeah, it looked like Wolski turned in. I could be wrong. I'd have to see it back again. Yeah. But it looked like it almost like he got Varga got pinched on the inside. Not much else place he can go. Kieran Argent next. He's having a much better race than last week, keeping it on track. This time, top 10. That'd be very good. Very good result for him.
Just running wide into the gravel trap, coming through the exit onto the back straight, and not too much. It's not allowed Unsworth an opportunity here. Right, Williams 2.9 clear of Lee. That was a car looking like it was in the pit lane. I think that may be Simcoe in for his stop-go penalty.
Yes.
Although
and someone right behind him.
Oh, yeah, it's Benny Archer as well. So Benny Archer is in for his stop. So, yeah, Benny Archer into the pits as well. Closest fight on circuit at the moment is this one between Hunt, Williams, Lane, and then you've got Tucker, Peckman, Greaves, all within around about a second to each other. So it's a bit of a train forming behind Hunt. And overtaking a little easier this week than last week, but these cars have all been following each other for at least 20 minutes now.
Yeah, we got a much more spread pack this week, and there's a massive gaggle of cars all the way from, is that the 68? Who's the 68?
Yeah, that's
Darren Bell, or no, Hunt, and then just all the way down. Multiple cars right behind them. Williams, Lane, Tucker, almost hitting the back of Williams. And it looks like Greaves down the inside of Peckman there, and Peckman still has a nose in. Hopefully no contact into the Mercedes-Benz arena, and Greaves is through on him. But yeah, this whole gaggle of cars right here.
I tell you, he's had a pretty good night so far, and that is Michael Johnson in the Nissan. Really good race one with the changeable conditions, and then a really good strong second race at the moment. It's at P11. Yeah, but in one of the older cars, just showing what it can do here on the Pro-Am grid. So Greaves moves up to 16th place. His next target will be that of Tucker. He's trying to close in on lane with Williams and Hunt. Hunt being the lead of this train at the moment. Gary Leach, has he made him problem somewhere? Because he's got Drone Lander and Unsworth right behind him now. So Gary Leach in the BMW was in Devon last week. He's now got a fend off that of Drone Lander and Unsworth. And let's just say as well, a happy birthday to old Sim Racer. He's not here tonight because it is his birthday, so he's out. So if you end up watching this, Gary, happy birthday. We've had a good one, and look forward to seeing you back out on track next week. But Gary Leach at the moment got to try and figure out this pace and get his BMW back in a nice window. Pit stops yet to happen. We've seen 3, although we've now seen 4 because Broom's in. So in fact Privet's been in as well. Benny Archer's still in the pit lane, so this is a long stop for Benny at the moment. Simcoe has still got that stop-go penalty to do, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna go off what you were saying about Johnson. If you remember last week, he got that very unfair drive-through.
Yep.
When he had that incident at the chicane, and he's had a great recovery this week. Yeah, I don't know his warnings, but no drive-through so far. But yeah, he was having a great week last week, almost top 5 area, and he had an incident to no fault of his own, went off in the runoff, and then rejoined the track, and the game gave him a drive-through, unfortunately. It was very unfortunate. He still finished top 15, I believe. A bit of a rough one that he couldn't control, but yeah, he's having a good recovery this week.
Bestie into the pits as Benny Archer's still in this. This is a long stop from Benny Archer. Hopefully this isn't a retirement. He's already had 2 against his name at the moment. A third one would cost him 10 points, plus an extra 20. So he's on minus 20 points from last week. He's on minus 7, I believe, at the moment. So we'd like to get that back into positive pointage, but yeah.
Oh, that would be M2s though, right? Not Pro-Am.
Benny Archer's not doing M2s, I don't think.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bestie. Sorry.
Benny Archer. He's back into the pits once more, and he's been in the pits for a while as Archer, so hopefully he gets back going in this race. Right, Greaves trying to close down on Tucker, who's trying to catch Lane, who's trying to catch Williams, who's on the back of Hunt, and this is allowing... Oh, what's happened? Sam Williams! Sam Williams has made a mistake! He's dropped to 3rd!
Oh no. Oh,
so he's had a comfortable lead and has made a mistake. He's dropped to 3rd and he's into the pit lane.
He's in the pit. Oh,
what has happened to Sam Williams? The race to... Oh my! We've just lost Langley.
Yeah.
Oh, he's there.
No, yeah, you went static for a second. I'm not sure if that was me or you, but probably me. I'll look back on the replay real quick, try to see what happened and tell you what happened. Yeah, but yeah, very unfortunate. I mean, we were just talking about it a second ago. Just gotta keep it clean, keep it on track. What number is he again?
He's 94. And the problem for Williams here in this pit stop now is, with the track spread out, this could put him into traffic. So this could really cost him at the moment.
Yeah, and looking back at it.
Oh, Williams and Hunt into the pit lane, so they're in for their stops as well, and we've got everybody back out on circuit, so Archer is back out on track. Greaves looking up the inside of Tucker, no can do there.
Oh, he went wide at the I think he was having an issue before that though. This is weird.
Yeah, so maybe a problem for Sam somewhere.
He had a little wiggle going down to the hairpin, lost a chunk of time, and then going up the Schumacher S.
Sorry, Langley. Greaves has just gone off, coming through the Mercedes-Benz arena. That's allowed Peckman back through, and he's lost all the good work that he's done.
Yeah, Sam went off at the Schumacher S, ran a little wide into the gravel, lost the position to
He's been off again. He's been off again at turn 1. He's gone deep at turn 1. Gray. So
I wonder if he's having some wheel issues, because this looks on abnormal mistakes, like not even driving mistakes.
Well, he's the lead pit runner, but he's only just left the Mercedes-Benz arena, down in 18th place now. But obviously everybody in front yet to pit. Yeah, just some mistakes coming from Sam now.
Ooh, a Honda's round into the
That's
the hairpin.
Yeah, that's like Rob Smith, it looks like. I believe it's Rob Smith, the one you're watching, the bright yellow one.
Yes.
Yeah, that is Rob Smith, who's had a moment. Struggling in that Honda, was pretty good last season, wasn't he, in that bronze category? He's just struggling a bit. Dronelander's putting Gary Leach under some pressure now.
That Honda is a beast to tame, I will say.
All I heard was the Honda's a beast, and I'm going to leave it at that one. But Dronelander putting the pressure on Gary Leach, still with Unsworth. Lee has lost out to Lino, so we've not seen Lino and Lee change hands. So Lino leads this race and would lead it now outright after Sam's mistake. So yeah, interesting one at the moment. So Lino from Lee from Leach, but Leach under pressure from Dronelander and Unsworth. Greaves and Taylor into the pit, so that'll help Williams out gain another 2 places. But when it rains, it pours for Williams in these second races so far. He's just struggling in these race 2s. Just something's not clicking in race 2 for him.
Yeah, I wonder if it's when the tires start to wear or the tires go off or something. I'm just not sure.
That's Bestie, who's just been lapped there by Gary Leach, Dronelander and Scott Unsworth there then. So Bestie has pitted, let's not forget. He's the lead bronze pit runner. But he has some work to do. Dronelander around.
Lost it.
Yeah, keeps it out the wall, but he's lost out to Unsworth. Where's Beto? Nowhere near at the moment. Argent slowly bringing the gap down to Beto. Vogue has been slowly bringing that gap down to Argent, so the Argent's going to have to become and the attacker and the defender in a few moments' time, because he's going to have the Lexus in front of him and the BMW right behind him. So De Block, I tell you what, De Block's not made as much progress through the field as I thought he would in this race. 14th place and yet to do his pit stop.
Yeah, Benny hasn't had the outright pace as he did last week, and as I say that, he dips into the pit lane.
Yeah, there we go. So Benny Varga in. And that will be him to get his stop done. Now, where's Williams on track? He's 8 seconds behind Brian Craig. So he's lost out to... Oh, no, he's not. Sorry, that hasn't updated. He's ahead of Brian Craig. He's 17 seconds behind Sturrock. So he's got some clear road in front of him. No back marker traffic ahead. And yeah, this is just now becoming interesting to see what Williams can do in this race. I feel like this could be his chance now to just regroup.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. He does have some clean air right now as Rob Smith spins again at the Schumacher S. That Honda is not doing too well for him, but yeah, he has a ton of clean air. So this could work out. Hopefully, like I said, finishing 3rd or 4th isn't bad. You need to build points. So even though he made the mistake, he just needs to keep his head in right now.
Well, is he going to get past Benny Varga? Benny Varga's on his way out of the pit lane. Unsworth has done his stop and gone. So Unsworth is out ahead of Williams. What about Benny Varga then? So Williams coming down the start line. Benny Varga is off the limiter. He'll see Varga. He'll see his championship rival. And he will be behind Benny Varga in this race. So Benny didn't look like he repaired his damage. And Williams will be behind Benny Varga in this one then. So that shows how much Williams has lost by having his couple of moments.
Yeah, for sure. And now, I mean, the favorites in this one is Lino and Lee. Lee's been on the back of Lino the entire race. If I were him, I'd pull the trigger soon. He'd have some clean air to work with, but
I'm sure Lino's got past Lee, because Lee was second if I remember.
Yeah, Lino ahead of Lee. Lee has been on the back of Lino almost all race, though.
I thought it was the other way around before Williams had a spin. So I thought Lee was ahead of Lino. But,
yeah, he was. Yeah, yes, he was.
We'll see what happens there. Stop-go penalty was cleared by Simcoe. He is 30th. And we have lost Benny Archer again. So that will be a 3rd retirement in 4 races for Benny Archer in this one. So that will be another retirement for him. And that'll be huge devastation this season in terms of his championship, because that is what was the bronze winner last year before bronze became an outright championship. It's just not gone that way, has it, this year? It's 3 retirements in 3 races.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, and sometimes it's best just to finish, even when it's not been your day. I mean, you can always learn from a bad day, you can always learn from a good day, so it's still early in the season. It would be best just to keep your head in. I mean, you got to realize how many more races you still have to do. I mean, after this round, there's still 16 individual races, both full scoring points races, and you have reverse grid, which can cause chaos. And Yeah.
in which he will start at the front of. In fact, no, next week's at the time, until he'll have that reverse grid back of the start grid for him, and then a quali ban in race number 2 next week at Misano, the first night race of the season. Greaves was looking up the inside of Tucker momentarily as Smith continues on his way. I know he's going to dive into the pit lane, so Smith in for his stop.
Lino's in for his stop. He was about to catch traffic right now, and he's now dove in for his stop.
Good call. If you ask me, he knows he's got a race win on the line here. So where then is Williams? He's still on the back of Benny Varga at the moment. Hunter's still got Paul Williams on the back of him.
Yeah, we still got that gaggle of cars right there.
We have indeed. Sturrock's pulled to the side to let Unsworth go. I like that from Sturrock. Sturrock's yet to pit. Unsworth is the net pit leader. And I like that strategy. Beto into the pit, so that's allowed Argent and Wolski to go. So Argent's got 10 seconds worth of clean air now. So where is Kieran Argent? Number 22. I don't think he has got clean air actually, because I think he's just about to gain on Brian Craig, who's a bit of traffic. So Kieran's got a lot of traffic, so possibly a good call from Beto there as well in his fight with Kieran Argent. But at the minute, good few fights happening out there on track. Tucker just gaining on Phil Atherton at the moment, where Phil Atherton and Ian Best had their moment. And Tucker gives Phil a wide berth up the inside, Phil onto the grass, and that's going to put Greaves through and Andrew Taylor through, and Phil Atherton still on the grass. Through will go Malarex. In fact, no, Malarex didn't get through, but it was Jason Lee. So there we go, Lee.
Yeah, that's Lee.
Is the race leader in this traffic, and these three are all fighting for places at the moment.
Yeah, and when you're fighting for places, you're less likely to get out of the way of a blue flag, so they need to be careful. Taylor needs to be careful here. I mean, Lee's all over the back of them. You got to respect blue flags at some point. I know you want to get past Greaves here, but would think he'd hop out the way for the blue flag. Sorry,
Langley. Benny Archer's just tagged me in Discord. Had a blackout, thunderstorm. So bad weather on his end has caused the power to go out. So that is why we have lost Benny Archer from this race. That will not be a retirement in this one.
Yeah, and Lee's into the pit, so we'll see what the race is with Lino coming back around. But I will say... oh,
Catherine Lane has jumped... Oh no, sorry, apologies, I'm reading that wrong. Unsworth is ahead of Lane, so just waited for the timing tower to update, so yeah.
I was going to say... Andrew Taylor, he had multiple chances to get out the way for blue flags and didn't. And I can understand the frustration in that if you're Lee. So I know Taylor is right on the back of Greaves, and he's like, I can get right by him. Give me a second. Well, unfortunately, it's not how blue flags work, especially when you have blue flags for half the lap.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? And, you know, if Lee put a ticket in on Taylor there, you wouldn't... if you was telling you couldn't really argue that one, could you? Because it's pretty much stonewall in the rules and regulations. Blue flags, you know, get out the way, move out the side, move to the side so the lead driver can get through, but not to be. Lee is coming out the pit lane. Where is Lino? Lino will get past that of Lee. Where's Unsworth? He's coming down the start-finish straight. Lee is now off his limiter, so Lee is back into second place. The problem for Lee is he's got DJ Phil Atherton right ahead of him, so Phil's going to have to get straight out the way, and does so at turn 1, does he? Yep, keeps it lifted, and Lee will get through. This could allow Rob Smith the chance to get past Phil Atherton, though. And this is that's a stop-go penalty for who? That is for Wolski. So that'll help everybody else out. Wolski's got ahead of Bettison as well in the pit lane. So Wolski jumped Bettison. So a good stop for Wolski. He's now got a stop-go penalty to do. So, yeah, it's not worked out for him in the end, has it? And in fact, Williams has got ahead of Benny Varga. So there we go. Williams ahead of Benny Varga. And who is that?
No, Benny Varga's still ahead. Benny Varga's still ahead of Williams.
Oh, he has. Apologies. Yeah, that's further up though. That's Kieran Argent on the back of Williams. So Argent's done his stop as well. And he was closer to Bettison than what he is now. And they've now got to deal with Wolski, who's got that stop-go penalty and is now in their way.
Yeah, I'd be frustrated if I was Lee. I mean, I'm now almost 7 seconds behind Lino, and
you've got to put some of that down to the lap traffic, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd put a ticket in myself, but We'll see. We'll see. He's still been very good this race, and Rob Smith is around again, just not finding the legs in that Honda at all. But yeah, Lino's way out in front now and clear favorite now to win this one.
Yeah, you'd say so, wouldn't you? From this position, we're on board with Williams at the moment. He's gaining on Wolski. Rob Smith just ahead of them, so again, just losing a bit more time is Williams and Argent to the back of Bettison, because Wolski's not really there. Race, he'll drop down the order some margin. So Bettison is your gold leader from Tucker, with Malarex P3 in the bronze category at the moment, and Rob Smith stays to the inside. Argent gets a wiggle on behind Williams there. The last time Kieran Argent raced around here, he was teamed with Andrew Taylor, and he sent one on Taylor into turn one, except he didn't tell Taylor he was sending one. All he said was, gotta run, and they made contact. So who doesn't Taylor make contact with when he's teammates? Although he hasn't hit Williams today, so good for him. As the 107 of Wolski, just a reminder, he's got to do his stop with a penalty. The block now into the pit lane, and he is going to tumble down the order behind everybody. He was only just ahead of Bestie, but
yeah, for sure. Malarex and Bestie will be fighting for that last podium spot.
yeah, indeed they could. Sorry,
Malarex, right? It is Malarex right now who has that last podium spot, as Leach and Dronelander are both into the pits. So we'll see how they blend into the Sam Williams Benny Varga fight.
So where was they? They was just both ahead of Unsworth, wasn't they? Before Unsworth had made his pit stop. So this could be interesting for Leach now to see whether going longer has worked for him. So far, the podium looks like it could be Lino, Lee, Unsworth, although Gary will be hoping for a nice, comfortable cushion over Unsworth to be back on the podium in the BMW M4. What else is happening out there down the order? Darren Bell is on the back of the Welsh-coloured Honda of Neil Broom, the Welsh driver himself. Lovely looking livery, lovely colours, lovely nationality, lovely car. It's like the best combination in one.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Broom's gone deep at turn one. Bell all over the curb. Little slide on exit. On the outside of turn two. And Darren Bell, through he goes. Nice move, Darren Bell. He's looked good tonight. He's looked racy as Darren Bell tonight. Tucker has got Greaves. Greaves got a lot of damage on the back of his Porsche. But Andrew Taylor, no damage on the front of his McLaren. So not sure if that's damage that Greaves has sustained earlier in the race.
Has jumped Leach in the pit stop. I wonder if he took tires or not. And Leach has a
stop well, there we go. There we go.
32nd.
Did they get ahead? They didn't get ahead of Unsworth, but they stayed ahead of Benny Varga. And Gary Leach's race now is, well, he's got to do a stop-go penalty. Wolski, by the way, has got to do his stop-go penalty this lap. If he goes past the start line, he'll be disqualified from the race.
Yeah, for sure. He's going into turn one now. He's kind of holding up Sam quite a bit. Don't understand the why you wouldn't take it sooner rather than later. But yeah, he's got to take it this lap or he's disqualified.
Watching Greaves on the back of Tucker out the final corner. We've then got Taylor and De Block just behind them. So keep our eyes on this battle at the moment. Such a bad news for the driver of the GBR team. Yeah, indeed it is. For Benny Archer there. There's Greaves looking at the inside of Tucker. This will be outside for turn two. They just bounce off each other a little bit there. That forces Greaves wide and could allow Taylor through, but Taylor not close enough. Greaves has a moment, looks to go up the inside. Turn number three, then they're going to flick it left for four. This has brought Taylor and De Block right into play in this fight as well.
Yeah, for sure, and it looks like De Block has a run on Taylor down into the left-hander. Can he get his nose in there? It looks like he can. Oh, they make contact. And I think De Block had his nose in there, but neither were willing to concede the position, and Taylor comes off worse.
Yeah, not a big off, but enough to lose all momentum and just drop him back a little bit further. Paul Williams has been staring at the back of Hunt's car all day. Lane has jumped the pair of them. She's well up the road in this one, 4 seconds behind the Nissan of Michael Johnson. Kieran Argent hassling the back of Williams now. Williams cannot pass Wolski. Will Wolski pit for that stop-go penalty? He has, yes. I didn't think for a minute there that he had come into the pits, but he has. Gary Leach is also in for his. And now Argent gets a bit of a run underneath that of Williams, coming out the final corner and can't get the momentum with it. So May have got the nose underneath on exit, couldn't get the momentum to go with it. Now he's going to look up to the inside. Williams doesn't defend the inside line too well. Argent goes up the inside, misses the apex a little bit, but I'll tell you what, gets the move done on Williams, so Argent gets through.
Yeah, Argent having a good race. He'll be, after Leach, who's taking a stop-go right now, he'll be P7. So good, and now he runs a little wide in the left-hander of the Mercedes-Benz arena, but yeah, he's having a good recovery from last week so far. I mean, P7's better than P30. So, yeah, he's having a good recovery so far, and Williams just need to keep it on track, and he'll have a decent result as well.
Yeah, for some reason, race 2 is just all not suiting that of Williams. So, stop-go cleared for... He's just behind.
Yeah, so we got Lino out in front 5 seconds, and Lee following him would both be first-time podium sitters here. Unsworth rounding out the podium. Good, would be a good return on the podium for him after last year. Bettison leading the bronze class by far and away from Tucker, who is down in P16. Bettison's had a great start to this year, shown silver pace in both races. Argent Williams looks like the closest battle on track right now. Johnson, another top 10 running and good recovery after last weekend with that unfair drive-through. Lane, Catherine Lane showing good pace from the last time she was here in SimPlay Racing.
Indeed, apologies about that. My nephew ran in, so if I mute up, Gray will still be able to hear me, but you guys won't on the stream. So if I have to mute up again, I'll let you take over, Gray. But the nephew's running in and out of the other route, so apologies about that one. But yeah, De Block on the back of Tucker now. De Block has got past Greaves and he's heading after Tucker. Williams, though, as I was just about to say, he's just struggling with a bit of form in race 2s. He can...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has the pace. I mean, same thing as last week. You see that purple number next to his name, so he has the fastest lap of the race. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's when the tires get older and the car gets a little bit more slidey.
Sorry, buddy, De Block's lost out to Greaves and Taylor, so while I looked away while my nephew's going to bed, he's lost 2 places, so I'm not sure what happened there to him.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, and they've been that group has been squabbling all night, from where Hunt and Williams, Peckman, Tucker, Greaves, like that entire pack has been squabbling all night.
Yeah, they really have, and it's brought some great entertainment. It's a little more chill tonight, very quiet in the chat. Only Berserker, good evening to you, sir, who is chatting away at the moment. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed what you see here at SimPlay Motorsport, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are 3 subscribers away from that 100 mark of 1,100, so thank you all once again. We've really hit a good milestone in terms of subscribers this season already. Gained nearly some 40-50 odd subscribers as the season's gone on, so thank you all so much for that one. And yeah, we'll get the pro highlights on the YouTube shorts from race 2, because I forgot to save race 1 out there. They'll be out tomorrow, so keep your eyes on the YouTube shorts or Instagram, Facebook or TikTok pages for them coming out, as Hunt still carrying that damage. Williams just cannot find a way through. Now Argent has gapped Williams to 1.7 of a second, so in fact, now 2.
I think he's finding that pace. Yeah, he's finding that pace in that Ferrari.
I think
now.
It's a mix of both, though, Langley. I think it's a mix of Argent finding pace, and Williams seems to be struggling, because Williams was quicker than this earlier on.
Yeah, for sure. I think Williams has lost a little bit of confidence. I don't know if he has damage. It didn't look like he hit the wall, but yeah. I would like to also point out, I know I mentioned last week with there was over 30 cars. I know we've lost a couple tonight, but we still had over 30 cars tonight, so I love to see that we have that many drivers show up week in and week out.
Ian Best has lost out to Gary Leach. That shows you where Gary Leach has fallen in this race tonight. Who's the other driver? Wolski down in 23rd, so he's also struggled, but yeah, not the night they'd have wanted. Right, who's the closest fight on track? De Block on Greaves. Not no more, because De Block and Taylor have both got past Greaves, so now Taylor can head after Peckman once again here. But yeah, great night of drivers. 32 tonight, we had 39 last night. We're looking like at the moment, I believe what I saw earlier in Pro, not everybody's confirmed yet, but we've got 35 for tomorrow night already, so I think there's a few more. I think there's 5 left to confirm or decline for that one, so could be a huge grid in Pro tomorrow night as well, week 2, bringing us all the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. PN in the chat, he's lurking in the chat. Great to see our only channel member as well, by the way. That's why his name's in green and he's got the star next to his name. He's our only channel member, so thank you, PN, for being the channel member. What a night's worth of action this is, coming to an end though with 12 minutes left to go on the clock. And yeah, been a good night at the moment.
What a race one we had. I mean, I can't get over that one. We got absolutely spoiled there.
Well, I worked it out in the break while I went to the toilet. The rain was meant to come within 30 minutes of the formation lap. Yeah, the formation takes what, two and a bit laps. So 5, 6, 7 has returned to the pit lane with damage. That is Simcoe, who was already in 30th place. So he's returned to the pits with damage. Needs to get back out there. If he stays in the pits, that'll be a retirement. But he will still score points because he's passed the 3/4 mark. But the rain came 18 minutes earlier than anticipated.
That is, yeah, and here in race 2, it's been the same. Sunny with partly cloudy. And
not a change.
It is not changed at all, which, unfortunate. I mean, I would have liked a little bit of moisture from the skies in race 2, but
here goes De Block. Sorry, Langley. De Block looking up the inside of Taylor into turn 1. Brakes heavy, can't get the move done. Taylor stays 14th. All 3 of these have got past Tucker, though, so they have cleared Mark Tucker in this one. That one got put to bed there. Sorry, De Block put that one to bed and didn't want to pass Taylor. It's steaming into turn 1, so already made contact of these 2 earlier. De Block won't want to do it for a second time round. Obviously, De Block, your race 1 winner, but yeah, going back to tomorrow, you know, could we have saved the rain for race 2 tomorrow, I wonder?
Oh no, I hope not, but definitely the audience, I hope so, because that'll put some spice into it. I will say though, if you remember coming out the pits, Lee was 2 seconds or 6 seconds behind Lino. If you look now, it is only 1.3 going into the last 10 minutes of this race,
and look who's just taken fastest lap of the race. Dronelander has taken fastest lap, so Williams loses his fastest lap point there then. So for Williams, you know, race 2, losing that extra point, that goes the way of Dronelander in this one. We're still watching the fight between De Block and Taylor at the moment. De Block fending off Taylor. Taylor fending off De Block for the time being. But what a night's worth of racing it has been. Join me and Kelly Sweet Sticky in your box tomorrow night for the Pro Series, where Gray will be on the track in his Ferrari. I tell you what though, Langley, as we just go back to that one in a second, De Block having a look at the chicane, no can do. The Simbot lap times look very close between a lot of drivers in the Pro Series. As De Block onto the grass, Greaves can't capitalise. Very close on the Simbot, and Lee's within 9/10 of a second.
Yeah, and I do think we have some drivers that don't always practice in the server, so well, it'll be a lot closer than what the Simbot already says, I think.
Yeah, I think so. What was it, 20? The top 20-odd drivers separated by a second in qualifying last week? I think it'll be a lot more or a lot closer than that coming into this one tomorrow night. I think we're in for a good night's worth of action tomorrow night, so make sure you tune into that one. Don't go anywhere. You've got chance between the end of this and the start of tomorrow to watch all the previous SimPlay streams over the 5 years of SimPlay action. And yeah, looking forward to the future here as we head into 2026, what will be year 6 come August next year of SimPlay Motorsport. We've got bigger and better things coming your way as well. Don't worry, we've got some things in the pipeline with the likes of PMR coming out and possibly the chance of LMU next year coming to console. That could be an interesting one. See some endurance racing, so keep your eyes peeled into
the battle
that
for the lead
what's going to happen.
Is now under a second. They are within shouting distance of each other going into turn 1. Are we going to get a grandstand finish here anyway?
Oh, I think so. I think so. Just gone back to the Williams, Hunt and Peckman fight. And Peckman really close to the back of Williams now, and he's got Hunt. He just can't clear Hunt in this race. No matter what he's tried today, he just cannot clear Hunt. Brian Craig has got Wolski for company down the back. Simcoe has returned to track, so that won't be a qualifying ban for a retirement there, but Williams cannot get past this of Hunt at the moment. And then you've obviously got the De Block and Taylor battle. That's actually gone up to over a second now, so Taylor's just pulled away a little bit. Can Taylor in 7 minutes get 2.5 seconds to get on this back and maybe find a few more points, I wonder?
I wonder as well. I mean, the racing we've had down the pack tonight, I know it's a bit spread out up front. I mean, not so much anymore within a second of each other, but the racing we've had wheel to wheel down the pack tonight as Peckman tries to go around the outside of Williams, not going to happen into turn 1.
And the thing is tonight, Langley, is it's been more doable to cover a lot of these action, hasn't it? Because Alton Park's such a short track, everything happening all at once because it is so tight, narrow and twisty. Whereas here, being on a bit more of a wider flowing circuit, a bit longer in length, just allows us to get a bit more of the action covered. And that's the difference. We're going between tracks. That's Simcoe off, who's just moving out the way of everybody as Williams coming under pressure from Peckman. Gap out front though is half a second. Lee wants his first ever race win, doesn't he? He's looking racy at the moment.
Lee wants his first win. Lino wants his first win. Who's going to get it? It might be Unsworth if they run into each other. He's less than 5 seconds off the back of them, and Dronelander is less than 2 seconds off the back of Unsworth. So if they start squabbling, this can become a four-way fight really quick. Yeah,
it could indeed. And look at Benny Varga, by the way, P5. After being in the around the Peckman Hunt fight in the lower 10s, mid-teen sort of battle before his pit stop after a few dramas, he's up to P5, so he's worked it brilliantly. Argent has gapped Williams to 4.6 seconds, so Sam's just not had an answer in this second half of the race. And yeah, at the moment, Lee putting the pressure on Lino, just going to go back down towards Williams and Peckman for a moment, who are still pretty close. What about that of Taylor and De Block? That's back to half a second. No, it's not, because it looks like De Block's made a mistake somewhere as well. No other real gaps happening out on track at the moment, but the battle for the lead raging on as we enter the final 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, Benny Varga hasn't had the pace tonight, but he sure as hell has had the consistency like last week. So he's going to get out of here, I believe, extending his championship lead overall, because it was Wolski in P2. So overall, he's still going to extend his championship lead tonight.
Yep, indeed he is. Just going to get the driver of the day vote on there for you all at the moment. And hard to pick because race 1 chucked up such a mixed result that it's nobody's really had like 2 great results, if you know what I mean. So just going to try and put 4 drivers that in fact 3 drivers and then other, that I think in fact I've got to go to block for his race 1 win. And then we'll go with other, comment 2. And if you do pick other, please let us know who you voted for so we can count that towards driver of the day. But battles happening here, none more so than the lead of this race. They've just put a lap on Darren Bell, who got right out the way, did not want anything to do with that battle. And yeah, this is becoming an interesting one. Greaves on the back of the block as well. Sturrock gaining on Bestie, that's crucial. In fact, Sturrock is on Bestie, that is crucial for P4 in bronze. Don't forget it's points overall. And Bettison here, look at the silver drivers between Bettison and between Bestie at the moment. They're first and second in bronze, so this is going to have a huge effect here. Matt Wright in the chat saying must have been a no tyre change for Lino. I'd look at his lap times and say, I don't know, because his best lap's are 55.8. He's only into the 56.
He might be right. He might be right. I mean, if you remember, over a 6-second gap. I didn't think that we thought the traffic might have played a factor into that gap, but that is quite an extensive gap. So righty might be right here, no pun intended. But yeah, I think Williams didn't take tires either, which is why he's probably a lot slower in this part of the race.
To put it to you, Williams' best time was a 55.6. He's lapping in the 57s, and I've seen him in the 58s. So Williams is struggling in this race at the moment for lap times. We've dropped back to Hunt and Williams and Peckman. And I said could Taylor gain 2.5 seconds in the final 7 minutes. He's gained it in 4 because he's on the back of this queue, and he's brought De Block, who's nearly brought Greaves, who's nearly brought Gary Leach. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers, all for 11th place in this race. This could really get exciting with 2 minutes 50 left on the clock. By the way, no track limit warnings for drivers or no track limit penalties for drivers in this one tonight. Sturrock has dropped off the back of Best. Malrex and Tucker are fighting for the final podium in bronze.
Leach up the inside of Greaves and up into P16 now.
Yeah, so Leach on the move after his drive-through penalty. So we'll keep our eyes on what is happening. Dronelander's within 9/10 of Unsworth now. So Dronelander at the moment looking for a podium as well. Could have a brand new podium. I don't think any of these guys have ever had a podium at SimPlay Motorsport. Let me do some research, Langley, because this could be not only a new winner, it could be a whole new podium.
Yeah, it's Unsworth had a podium before.
Yeah, he was on the podium last week, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. So, and Lee is right up the chuff of Lino now going down into the second sector. We'll see.
It won't be an outright podium. Sorry, it'll be the first outright podium. No, sorry, it won't, because Lee's already had one. He had one in category for silver or bronze in M2s last night. And he's already had an outright podium before, so it will not be a new podium. But Dronelander and Lino have never had a podium, so they will be new to it. And then, yes, an interesting fight. Lee within 0.3 of a second to the back of Lino now as we're coming round to start what will be the final lap of this race. We've got half of this lap and one more to go. And this is getting exciting between these two boys out front.
Yeah, and looking further down the pack, Williams still trying to make a move on Hunt and still cannot get it done. They've been like that all night, haven't they?
They have indeed, and they've got all 7 cars behind them. Malarex trying to get second place in category. If him and Tucker are coming together, that could open the door for Bestie and Sturrock. But what a fight for the lead, a fight for third, and a 7-car fight for 11th. How exciting is that with 1 to go? They come through the chicane. Lino and Lee struggling, Lino struggling over Lee. Lee's getting the traction out the chicane that he wanted. It will be a brand new winner if one of these two was to win the race. Unsworth is only 3 seconds behind them. There is him and Dronelander in the background. 1 lap to go.
Yes, I would send it if I were him. You have to if you want to win this.
All or nothing. Lee to the outside, just makes a little bit of contact there, turned in as Lino didn't, and it's all or nothing between these two now. Langley, keep an eye on that one. I'm just going to drop back to Williams. In fact, Gary Leach has from somewhere got ahead of De Block and gets ahead of Taylor on the outside of the Schumacher S's. The 2-time champ putting on a masterclass of overtaking. De Block's got ahead of Taylor, so is Greaves, and here comes De Block on Leach in towards the middle sector, or towards the end of the middle sector. Leach now up into 14th place. Taylor's dropped off the back. Can Leach get 11th place? If anybody can, he can. But what is happening out front? Lee's lost off to the back of Lino.
Yeah, but Dronelander's all over the back of Unsworth going down into this hairpin now. We'll see if he can make a move to get onto the podium. It's going to be a bit difficult and a bit late if you send it from here. But I'm sure he wants that podium.
Yeah, I'm sure he does indeed. Dronelander doesn't think of sending one. Simcoe got out the way of Lino and of Lee. Who is going to win this race? Lino's tyres looking like they're possibly done. Lee has so much more grip and confidence through the Schumacher S's. Kicked up a bit of gravel though. That's not what he wants. In the background, Dronelander's looking to make a move on Unsworth. Pulls out now to look up the inside. Doesn't get it done there. They carry on their way. But the fight for the lead. There's the chicane and the final corner left to go. And can Lee get this one done? Has Lino done enough? We're coming to the end of race 2. Race 1 brought us drama with the weather. Race 2 is providing the excitement with what is happening out there on the circuit. This has been brilliant from these drivers. Lee has chucked everything at it into the final chicane. Needs the run out the corner. He's hit the back of Lino. He's hit the back of Lino. He slows immediately down. And Lino is going to win this race. Brand new winner at SimPlay Motorsport. Lino wins from Lee. Unsworth hangs in there over Dronelander, who will take fastest lap.
Oh my goodness.
What a race that was.
Oh, I would have felt so bad for Lino if he got robbed from that. Good on Lee for slowing down and making sure he didn't take that place. Oh man, what a finish that was.
Benny Varga will come home to take P number 5 in this one. Beto,
Williams
win.
has finally got ahead of Hunt.
There we go then.
On the final lap.
So Beto, race winner in bronze, Kieran Argent 7th. Williams will come across for P8.
Oh,
it's the
Nissan. Absolutely punted the rear of, who is that? I think it's Peckman. Yes, punted the back of Peckman off.
Well, we'll come to that fight in a moment because there's the Nissan of Michael Johnson getting through for P number 9. So I think we've possibly lost a driver. Have we lost a driver or two? Oh no, that would be because of the drive-through penalties to Wolski and Gary, wouldn't it, earlier on? Because we still have 30 cars in the server. Here comes Catherine Lane, top 10 for her, good result. And then Williams and Gary Leach have got past Hunt. Williams will finally get 11th. Then it will be Leach. He nearly got all 7 of them in 2 laps. Hunt 13th to block 14th from Sam Greaves, Andrew Taylor. Then it will be Peckman. Mark Tucker will get 2nd place in bronze. 3rd place in bronze for Malarex. That's 18th and 19th. Ian Best is going to try and fend off Sturrock at the very end. He will do because Sturrock's gone in the gravel. He's had a spin at the end. Where is Wolski? Wolski's coming around the final corner now. Sturrock can't get it going. He does, but Wolski will take 21st away from Sturrock. Sturrock 22nd. Brian Craig, that's Phil Atherton ahead of him for 29th. Brian Craig 23rd. Gabino will be 24th after that earlier damage to him. Good comeback. Neil Broom will take 25th, and that is the end of the race. What a race we have had here tonight. I hope we get some drivers in for interviews because that was a phenomenal night of action here at SimPlay Motorsport, and it's not done yet because we've got the Pro Series coming tomorrow night. 35 drivers. Conditions looks the same weather, so rain is going to be lurking around for these pro drivers. Oh, Langley, before we get anybody in, final thoughts and driver of the day from yourself, sir.
Oh, man. Who do I pick for driver of the day? Where did Lino and Lee finish in the sprint race? I don't even know. I'll be honest, they came out of nowhere for this feature race. I did not expect to be seeing them.
Lino was 15th and Lee was 27th. So this is what I mean. It's so hard to pick a driver of the day.
Exactly. Very hard. I think Benny was the most consistent, but it's hard to give him driver of the day overall. Sam again looked like the quickest, but the consistency wasn't there.
The session's just reset
and it's wet.
Just proving that it can and will do anything.
But you know what? It's his first win in SimPlay. I'll give it to Lino. It's his first win in SimPlay. You only get one of those, so I'll give it to Lino, driver of the day.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to as well. It's either him, Lee, or possibly Greaves or Gabino. To block won it from the start, even with the conditions. But Greaves and Gabino, fought hard to get their podium race one. But I'm going to go Lino as well. Like you say, you only get one race win, or you only get one first ever race win in a league, and that was Lee. So Lino, sorry. So I'm going to give it to Lino. We have got Benny Varga, who has joined us in the box. Benny, welcome to the commentary box. No podium for yourself out there tonight. That was tough going. Just talk us through it.
Well, first of all, the plus 20 or so kilos hurt the Beamer a bit too much, I think. So I knew from the start that the pole position is basically 0% that I can have it. Overall, apart from the first few laps, I think my race was kind of ideal. So I'm basically glad with my performance today, so I could stay consistent yet again, apart from the blummer, especially at race 2. But overall, I'm really glad where I could finish, so it was a nice comeback, I think. And most importantly, I finished ahead of my main championship rivals. That was my main goal, obviously. And I could pick up some good points here tonight, so overall I'm glad.
Yeah, just talk us through race 1, because the weather was saying that it was going to rain within 30 minutes from the formation lap of race 1. We got the rain 18 minutes earlier by what I worked out. Just talk us through how that was, because you'd already made your pit stop at this point.
Well, I started from the back thanks to the reverse grid order, so I basically knew that I was gonna stop in either the first or the second lap, and basically that's what I did. I successfully managed to avoid chaos, and I immediately pitted. Overall, the forecast said also that it's only half an hour away, so we would finish by the time the rain arrives. So I was confident that it was a strategy that should work, and it worked very well until the rain came. So it was struggling to the end.
Yeah. Managed to hang on in for a P4 though. P4 and P5 tonight. Good results going into Misano for the first night race next week.
I am. Well, Misano is a track I like and I'm good at, so I try to fight back harder.
Well, Benny, congratulations tonight. We'll see you at Misano next time around.
Thanks.
And I've got you the championship standings. Before we leave tonight, it is Benny Varga who leads by 58 points from Scott Unsworth now, who is in second place. Lino moves up into third. Williams stays in fourth with Wolski dropping to fifth. Kieran Argent sixth with Andrew Taylor in seventh. The Nissan of Michael Johnson is P8 from Gabino in ninth. Dronelander moves up to 10th ahead of Hunt, Craig, Williams, Peckman, Greaves, Millington, De Block, Lane, Broom, Lee, Leach, Oldsim, Flores, and then we've yet to see Jimenez, Davis, Cummings and Waston in bronze. Bettison has a 72-point lead over Ian Best, who is P2 with Malarex in third. Mark Tucker sitting in P4 with Privet fifth. Sturrock in sixth. Phil Atherton P7. Bell 8th. Rob Smith 9th. Simcoe P10. Cherry Moore, John Andrews and Benny Archer. The team's championship looks like this. It's Team Audio Sport 90 points clear of Quantum Motorsport. In this one, Real Time Racing a P3 from Sodor Racing. Then it's 4Q Motorsport, Team Merlot, Black and Blue Racing, Greasy Bandits Racing ahead of SimPlay Racing from Team Aspire, Balkan Sim Hub, SC Racing, SRC Motorsport, Bearded Racing, Team GBR, Billy Nomates and Roadrunner Motors. And in terms of the overall championship tables then, Benny Varga leads 58 points from Unsworth as we know. Then it's Lino, Wolski, Bettison, P5 still overall. He's having a cracking season thus far. Then it's Argent, Taylor, Williams in this one overall. Don't know if that's worked out correct there because Williams is fourth in class. So not 100% sure what's gone on with that one there. It's saying he's on 192. So I'll get the overall table sorted and we'll read them out next time. No one else has joined us for a chat, so we'll leave it at that. Shame we didn't get to hear from Lino or Lee or even Unsworth in this one. But Langley, we both gave Lino driver of the day. Lino got driver of the day by the audience as well. Final thoughts on that one?
I still think we got spoiled in race one. I mean, I'll have some of that every week, please, if possible. But yeah, what is the next race on the calendar? I'm not sure off the top. Misano. Ooh, night race, first night race of the season. A bike track. So very fast track. Very good for overtaking, especially with the fast corners, and some of the hairpins that open up, inviting a dive bomb. So, I mean, you've seen the first 2 weeks, audience. So, you got to tune in next week. We have M2s on Tuesday. We have Pro-Am Wednesday night. And we still have this week at the Nurburgring Pro tomorrow night, but also Misano next week. So, tune in for that. Non-stop action, 10 weeks of the season. Who will be champion?
Yep, who will be champion? It's been a great day of mixed weather and mixed results for all the drivers up and down the grid. Thank you to Gray in the commentary box with myself tonight. It's been an absolute privilege once again. We'll be back next week for more Pro-Am drama in our first night race of 2 this season. But Sweet and Sticky, myself and Kelly Davis will be back in the box tomorrow night for the Pro Series. It's going to be a fascinating night's worth of racing around the Nürburgring for their second week of their season. You don't want to miss that one. But we'll see you next time. Goodbye.